go. We're ready. We're going for our second trip of the year, right buddy? Finally. Been home for almost a month and now it's time to head back out. It is mid-May. It's 26 degrees. It's actually hot for our American friends. I guess that's high 80s. We haven't seen the sun in 6 months, so we're excited. I'm Jerry.
Leah.
And this guy's Ernie. Ernie, say hello, bud. All right, we got a bit of a longer drive today up to Barrie, so let's hit it. What you doing?
So we're gonna flamingo the Airstream nearby.
So what do we put?
I'm trying to concentrate. So we've got these little flamingos, and we just put our name and our BRN, our big red number. In the past, we've put the date, and then we went to flamingo them, and they weren't there anymore. So
or they were home and we didn't.
So we're not going to waste it. BRN, so if they are part of the Airstream, what's it called? Club? Airstream Club International. They can look us up, where we're from, our names, email addresses, if they want to contact us. So we're going to go visit the Bambi now. Ready, Ern? Let's go. Yeah.
morning, everybody. Today is our first full day here at Barrie KOA. It's holiday Monday, and I think we're gonna lose a lot of neighbors today, but we're here for the week. We go opposite land, come in at the end of the holiday and stay longer. So, but it's also going to be scorched earth today. It's going to be hottest day of the year so far, which isn't saying much, but it's going to be really hot. So I'm going to get this awning open to save us from that scorchingness. Let's go see Leah and Ernie. Where's the urn? You want a stick?
Yeah. You were very distracting to him while he was eating.
I heard. Ernie, having your stick, buddy? You having your morning stick? Good boy. Good boy. Oh, Rolly puppy. Oh, there's Rolly puppy. Good boy. Okay, hey guys, haven't done a lot of filming today because we lived on the surface of the sun today. We haven't seen the sun in about 7 months. We've been wearing parkas for about that long, and then all of a sudden today it was like, hey, guess what? You live in the middle of a desert, and it was relentless. And we did a lot of hibernating inside with some AC flying, but there is quite a storm rolling in now, probably a result of all of that, but skies are looking pretty mean, calling for severe thunderstorm. Of course, living in an aluminum shell. Sorry about the wind noise. Our biggest fear is getting destroyed by pine needles. Our biggest fear is hail, and yeah, kind of live with that continual constant fear, so hoping that's not the case with this. Don't call for it, but it's always a bit of a lingering fear. So I'm going back inside. This is mental. It's gonna hit any second. I'm gonna have to convince Ern to chill until he has to pee again until later. And we're watching Game 7 of the Habs and the Sabres. Okay guys, probably won't see you till tomorrow, so you guys have a good night. It is technically day 3 here, our second full day, and I need to empty the tanks. It's time for a log, so get that going first. So as mentioned, we are at Barrie KOA Holiday, and it's split into 2 sections, and we are back in the adults only section, which is mostly made up of seasonal sites. I think I'd say probably 90% of the maybe 100 and so sites back here are all seasonal back in a horseshoe, which we'll show you. But yeah, sites are really nice. Place is really well kept. This is the 40th anniversary of this campsite. So I'm sure they got a lot planned this year. We're here early. They only opened the beginning of May. We're here mid-May. But our site is pretty amazing. An almost perfectly level concrete pad. Lots of great lawn. We like to choose this site. We've stayed in this site a few times now. We like this corner lot. Gives us extra lawn. We get to see a lot of what's going on, coming and going. But yeah, I need to empty the tanks. So I figured I'd bring you along. Talk a little bit about our setup on the business side of the RV. RVs are like mullets. They got a party side and a business side, and this is the business side. And I got everything going on back here. We'll do the tanks. Black first, always black first, remember. And I allowed them to get very full. Black tank is well over 90%, getting close to being 100% full. Leah just had a shower, so the gray tank is at almost 80%. So you do your black tank first, as everybody knows. Get that flushed out. I'll do a black tank flush a couple times. Make sure that it's really cleaned up. And then you do your gray tank after that, which helps to clean out any residue from your stinky slinky. And make sure that that sucker isn't gross, because it sits in a tube under the RV for long periods of time. So when I turn in the black tank flush, I let it run for 2 minutes with the valve open. Just flush out anything on the bottom, and then what I'll do is I'll close the valve, and I usually set a timer for 5 to 7 minutes. Keep an eye on the percentage on the reading on the inside. In an Airstream, you double tap the black tank reading or gray tank reading, whichever one you need. Generally you need it for the black, so you double tap it and it'll stay on for 5 minutes, which gives me a good look in through the window to see where I'm at. But like I said, I know at this point that typically a 5 to 7 minute timer, and I'm going to need to open the valve again after the black tank flush has been running, because the tank gets up to around the 80% mark, which is where I want it. But yeah, I'll show you a couple of the bits now that I added. So of course you've always got your sewer hose, and I keep the bridge. This site is amazing in terms of its setup for where the sewer is, how it drains out, almost perfectly set up. But I still do keep the bridge, keep the stinky slinky off the ground, keeps it away from anybody that wants to maybe eat it or nest in it. So I added this part right at the RV. Of course, poop light is always on. Wally, the ghost of Wally. You guys know, if you're in an Airstream, you know. But I added this flow view here. It's not so much that I need to see what's coming out here, but to be honest, it makes the connection very simple. Connect this hose to it, and then it's got a great handle on it from Rhino, and that attaches right to the connection at the Airstream, which makes that very, very simple rather than struggling with these, which can be tough depending on temperature and all the rest. And then down the other end, this guy is one that you know, many people are aware of, and it was said to be made of, I like this term, unobtainium, for a long time because you couldn't find it anywhere. But this lever here, when it's up, it releases, and when you put it down, it expands the rubber gasket to allow it to connect to basically any sewer connection with or without threading. And you don't have to worry about where you're when you twist on the threaded version of that elbow, which I also have and have used for years, you never get the right angle. Things are always out of whack, so this, you set it up perfectly. So I really like it, works well. All right, it's time to close that valve. Get the tank cleaned up. So I'll use Siri, then I'll set a timer, and then let it fill and drain, fill and drain. And if anybody out there is freaking out right now that I'm not wearing gloves, I'm not touching anything other than the valves, black and the gray. And yes, I do decontaminate them several times during the trip with sandy wipes, alcohol wipes. So don't think that I'm just out here raw dogging our sewer connections with my bare hands. So not touching anything other than the valves, and I still wash my hands when I go inside. So I'll flip out. Oh yeah, it's also supposed to be 1 trillion degrees again today. They're calling for low to mid 30s with humidex climbing into the high 30s. Again, for our American friends, I think we're tipping the scales low 90s at that point. And it's humid as hell, so anybody in Florida would understand the humidity. It's not a dry heat, it is a heavy, wet, thick heat. That's what we're in for today again. And then it's going to drop off the face of the earth again, and they're calling for 10, 12 degrees tomorrow. So, you know, spring in Canada, it's the way it goes. So in this instance, I set my timer for 5 minutes, which is just about up. The tank sensor, which, you know, they're not pinpoint accurate, but they're a good thing to have. It's at 50% right now. So typically at 5 minutes, I find myself over 70%, but big difference at this campground. And it has a lot to do, of course, with water pressure. So I think I need to dial mine up. So this is our water setup that I use. I use this brass Y splitter. This way I don't have to be attaching and detaching hoses all the time. I've got our freshwater hose, drinking water, showering, cooking, doing dishes, and of course running through the water filter. There's far more elaborate setups for water filtration, but for our short trips, this thing works well. I replace it twice a year, and this is a water pressure regulator, which an Airstream, of course, does have one built in to set to 50 psi, but safer the better. You definitely don't want leaks of water inside. Uh-oh, lawn mowing. And then the secondary hose, the white hose, is my black tank flush, which I just leave connected. You know, when I've got the splitter, I turn the freshwater feed off so there's no cross-contamination. Even though everything's pushing forward, there's just, I've heard concerns of that. So again, another one of those better safe than sorry kind of ideas. Black tank flush sits here. It's got that one function, you turn it on, and it starts the jets and sprayers inside the black tank to clean it up. And then the freshwater inlet here, which I do use again, a brass 90, just to take some of that downward pressure off with the hose sticking straight out. People have complained over the years that it breaks the inlet, so I'm trying to avoid that. Flush number 1 is done. Well, I guess the one last thing to note on the business side, as I call it, of the Airstream is power. We're a 30 amp unit. We have one AC in this 27 FBQ, and that requires the 30 amp. So we've got the smart plug, which is great. There's an indicator light to show you that it's working, pops right in, locks into place. And of course, so I'm actually using a 50 amp surge protector just because it's my better surge protector. I have a weak 30 amp protector. I need to upgrade that, but I've got a great 50 amp protector, and then use this dog bone to bring it down from 50 to 30, and then the power goes into that and provides all the power we need to run all of our systems continuously. One other piece that I added to our sewer setup is this here, this handle. The stock one can be next to impossible to remove, especially as it swells and contracts with temperature. So this one has this built-in handle on it. You just grab that twist really easy. This whole setup, like I said, I added this piece because it makes it easier to attach and remove. This whole setup can be a real pain in the ass to get things on and off, so anything I can find to make that a little simpler, I'm all about. One thing that I've had to do in the past, in the middle of the summer when it's super smoking hot and there's a lot of sun, like I said, this site's set up so that this side of the trailer actually doesn't take a lot of sun, direct sunlight, but the hose itself, your freshwater hose, I have, in many cases, I usually do, take it and throw it underneath the trailer, coil it up as much as possible, just leave out what's necessary to attach both to the Airstream and to the water spout. but coil up the hose and throw it underneath the RV. That helps when there's all that direct sunlight, because we've actually had an issue where the water inside the hose, it was so hot, so much sun, the water inside the hose rose to a temperature that shut down the hot water heater. So we couldn't actually get hot water as a safety shut off that it has. So yeah, it's an easy tip to just take your hose, coil it, throw it under, and it keeps it out of the direct sun, which keeps the water inside cooler, makes everything operate properly. So we've got 1 minute left on my 8-minute timer, which I dialed up from 5 minutes because of the water pressure. And the sensor reading is 83%. So I'm gonna pull that valve pretty shortly. And this is the second flush. So I'm actually gonna show you what the water looks like coming out on the second flush, because it's incredibly clear. So this is the water coming out of our black tank right now. And that is incredibly clear. We have had our Airstream for 3 years now, so the tanks get well used, and I like to think that that's a good sign that I'm keeping that black tank in great condition, nice and clean. So once this empties, then we'll let the black tank flush continue to run for an additional 3 minutes, just to clear out anything else that's settled to the bottom, and then we'll be back to 0%. Okay, so I'm going to show you something here about leveling. I kind of want to get the Airstream a little more level. It's leaning a little bit to the business side, and it's a fraction. I showed you the level, the bubble level with the light on it. So it's very little, but I don't know. I'm a bit of a weirdo about it, but it would mean essentially tearing down. I'd have to raise all the stabilization, remove the X-chocks, hitch up, and pull her forward probably an inch, maybe inch and a half. Get a little higher on these ramps that would allow that to take place. So I don't know, I might. We're still here for a few more days, and it's probably going to bother me the whole time, so I may as well spend the 20 minutes doing it. If I do, I'll show you. So the final 3 minutes of the open black tank valve flush has completed. Turn my timer off. So what I'll do is I'll turn that water feed off, and then I'll let the last bits drain out. There really was nothing that came from that last flush, so it is clean, clean, clean. So I'll just let the rest of that drain out, then I'll pull the gray, and we'll be reset. She's done draining. Wally's back. Now we'll pull the gray. So the gray is everything from sinks, the shower, washing dishes, and it's a soapy mix of water. You see that second black tank flush is even clearer than that, because there's no soap or food residue or anything else in it. So tanks are good and clean. Tally ho, we're just waiting on the trickle down. Just about done in the gray tank, and then we are done. Thanks for coming along. It's lunchtime. What'd you make it for us?
So we're gonna have smash burger tacos. I'm trying to use up all the food that's already in the house. So when we first got here, I made smash burgers, like regular old burgers on the barbecue with Impossible Ground. So, but because it's just the two of us and Ernie doesn't eat burgers, I'm gonna use the rest of the meat for smash burger tacos. Really fast, I make a burger sauce to go on top, a little bit of vegan cheese and some toppings, super yum on the barbecue.
Ernie. Ernie, are you cute? Yeah, you're cute. You're cute, right? Yeah. Good morning, guys. It is freezing today. Freezing. Obviously it's been worse, but after 2 days of the sun trying to kill us and the world almost melting, we're back to very cold spring day. Aaron had to wear a sweater. We've got layers on. There's no frost. That's a bonus. But man, it's cold. Lake looks nice. Okay, so there's our site. And as I mentioned yesterday, back here is predominantly seasonals. And this was the horseshoe that I referenced. So it goes all the way around the back side of the campsite here. Really nice old big trees, very cool sites. If this was your local area to set up a seasonal and that's what you like to do, it's a nice spot. But you can see it's mainly very large fifth wheels, some A classes sprinkled in. Rows to go down, and then down at the end there's a community garden for the seasonal site holders where they can plant some veggies. The end of the horseshoe, a couple of people still to move in. This is the community garden that I mentioned. It's a cool idea. This we've been coming here for a few years now, and every time we've come here the seasonals are 100% sold out, so it's a neat little ad that they do for people, that people get to do for themselves, I guess, but still having the space, having the availability, it's pretty cool. And then there's a nature trail hike. I'm not really sure, it's a loop, I'm not sure the full distance. I'm sure it says so somewhere, but this is neat too. It's a little groomed path. But this, we're also a little concerned about ticks. This year they're supposed to be pretty bad, and early in the year they're very active, so we're trying to protect ourselves and Earn. These sites down here are all overnight camping pull-throughs, so you see a lot of Class A's roll in. A lot of times they don't even unhook their dinghy. A lot of fifth wheels, big rigs. This stuff, mostly you see people stay here for one night. They're in and gone. But pretty nice accommodations for a single night. You need full hookups, get your tanks dumped. Perfect spot for it. Yeah. Ernie? Ernie? You doing walkies? Yeah, got your hoodie on?
Which way do you want to go, babe?
Okay, we are taking you on an adventure. We're going to walk from our section of the park up to the front of the park. What do you think it is, like?
It's like a kilometer.
A kilometer, yeah. So it's a bit of a walk, not a big deal, but this is the little road, one lane, one-way road with the pond that separates the two portions of the park. Up front is the more kid, family-oriented area. There are two heated pools, and all the KOA type typical stuff, like a Gaga court, whatever Gaga is, I still have no idea. It's just some sort of ball pit game that I don't understand. I'm sure I could look it up and understand it very quickly, but you know. And then there is the KOA mining thingy, which I think is kind of standard. I think they have to have that at KOAs. And a couple other things. There's like a big rec hall where they'll do stuff for kids, as well as have, you know, bingo and trivia nights. Make it fun for everybody. A bunch of other crap too. It's a cool park. It's a fair-sized park with these two sections. It makes it kind of large, but well maintained, nice and quiet. You can have a look back here. So we're back there behind that rec hall. That's a separate rec hall they have on this side in the adults only section. It has again all the typical amenities you'd expect. Some board games, a little library. Pond is cool. Lots of ducks and frogs and geese and probably snakes.
Soon to be Ernie.
And an Ernie, apparently. Get him out of there. Come on, you crazy dude. So yeah, we're walking our way up. Here's the dumping and recycling. They actually pick up garbage at your site twice a day now, once in the morning, once in the evening, so you don't have to technically actually visit this dump station on your own, but if you wanted to, you can. It looks like the winter took its toll on part of the forest. Really hammered the hell out of it. Probably a lot of snow and ice on these things and brought them down. A little older, probably a disease. So this is now the upper section of the park, and it itself is divided into two. There's this lower section here. This is the only way in and out. And then there's an upper section up there where there are cabins, full hookup sites, partial hookup sites, tent sites. Camp Canine. I think there's 4 of them here. Kids Park. It's a cool little section. We've looked at this before too. These are all full hookup. So this would be the turnaround at the end to get out. Like I said, there's only one road entry exit in and out down here, so you'd have to exit, come down to this loop, and then follow the road back out the way we came to get back up top and to the main road to exit the park. So here's the infamous Gaga pit. Like I said, I don't get it. Here's some rules. Gaga rules. And then the pools are up here. This is the rec hall here. So they have the whole outdoor area, crafts, games, gatherings. Volleyball. Crew's always at work here, keeping it beautified. Ferns in the trees. Come on, duder. Public washrooms up here. full bathhouses, showers, and then these are the 2 pools. Like I said, both heated pools. Nice to see they're open early May. That doesn't always happen in Canada.
Well, yesterday it was warm. Today,
Yeah.
not so much.
Yeah, we had a good 25-degree swing in temperature. Guess these are shuffleboard courts or something, hopscotch.
Hopscotch and Foursquare.
Whatever Foursquare is.
I've already played it in elementary school.
Kinda. Throw a ball or something?
No, you just have to stand on the corner and I don't know, harass children.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure there's a dump station down here too. There was in years past. I think it was last year they were moving it. But it's still in and around this area. Like most, if not all KOAs, they do allow somebody who's not camping here to stop in and use the dump station. I think it's like $10 or something. But if you're on the road and you're dry camping and boondocking and you need to get the tanks emptied and get some water in your fresh tank, it's a great option for a few bucks.
I think it's over here.
Yeah. I think it's sooner there, yeah. This would be it here. This pad is. Yeah, so this is the, here's the dump station. Nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. Here's the little row of cabins. Very cute. These are, I think, what they call them, rustic cabins. So they don't have running water or kitchenettes. They have electricity, they have a little fridge, sometimes a microwave, but pretty much just a place to sleep. And a fire pit. Here's a better look at this lower portion that we were down walking through earlier. Cool spot, lots of nice trees when they fill in the summer, good shaded areas. So if you do ever come here with your RV and you stay back in the adult section, I think it's called Cedarwood or something back here. But this is something to keep in mind. Like I said, this is a 1-lane, 1-direction road, so you gotta stop there, make sure there isn't another vehicle or RV coming back this way before you can proceed to your site. I'm heading on a short solo mission. It's not a secret. Leah knows, Ernie knows. It's a short mission. I'm not even leaving the park, but I'm headed to the gate to do something. I'll tell you about it when I get back. I'm back from my not secret mission. Not secret solo mission. That's what it was called.
Was
it? Was
it?
my not secret solo mission.
Okay.
But where did I go?
You went to the front gate.
To do what?
Get food.
To once again make a liar out of myself.
Yes.
In our last video, I said, rarely do we ever get takeout or food delivery while we're camping. And now this is the 3rd time in 2
year.
trips. But this is a special one, right?
Yeah.
So we got
So we got from Mexico, which is in Barrie. I don't think you pronounce it that way. I think it's like Mexico.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jerry got the huarache, which is this corn tortilla thingy with ground meat and beans and stuff. Looks delicious. And I got the chicken flautas with a side of rice and beans.
And we love this restaurant. I think, did you discover them at like a food truck thing?
Yeah, no, it was the Burlington Food Festival, which is our hometown, so it's convenient. And they come to Burlington and they do these little tacos that are freaking delicious. And so when we're in Barrie, we go.
And we saw an announcement, you saw an announcement a couple months ago, and we thought they were closing, and we got all freaked out. But as it turns out, they've just decided to start a new chapter in their life, and they're selling their restaurant. So hopefully it'll still exist when we come back this way. But regardless, we didn't want to chance it. So we're gonna have some insane, delicious, authentic Mexican food. You have whatever you're having. We're having this. Sadly, this is our last night here, and it's our last night camping for a few weeks now, which sucks. So we're gonna try and make the most of it. It's fire time. Right, bud? Gonna be a good boy and have a fire? All right, let's get this sucker lit. So we just finished listening to what I consider to be the most emo song in the history of emo music, which is
Sea Anemone by Jets of Brazil.
Yeah. When you're so sad that you give away your own name, that's emo. So on that note, we're going to say goodbye through fire to something that we have had since it's got to be in our first few ever RV trips.
I think it was definitely our first trip here.
Very first time here for sure, but
it was probably our second or third ever RV trips in the little guy.
4 years ago. And we still had our little guy Max, a teardrop, 21-foot teardrop, which we loved, but found it to be a little too small for getting out here more and more and more. And we were unprepared, and we obviously knew nothing because we were brand new to doing this. And next door to us, we were in the site right at the end. So there's a few trailers you can see right ahead here, sort of. And on the far side at the very top, that's where we were. And next door to us, our neighbor recognized that I was trying to manipulate our fire by using logs and my feet. And she came over and said, "Would you like a stick to help with that?" And I said, "Yes, I would." And so she gave us a poker. She just had a pile of them. She gave us a poker. And this poker used to be at least twice this length.
Oh, was it like 6 feet long?
Yeah, well, when you use wood with burning wood, it burns. So we called it Barrie, and we've been carrying it around for 4 years. And since we're back and Ern is happily sitting with us at a fire, we decided it was time for Barrie to go. So, Nemo, say goodbye. Bye, Barrie. Barrie into the fire. I don't know how well Barrie's gonna burn, because Barrie actually lives in the trunk of the Airstream, which isn't waterproof. So he may be waterlogged, and it might take us some time, but Barrie, ashes to ashes, hence where you cometh frometh. That's the saying, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know either.
So Canada.
Fly over. We are packing up on our last morning here in Barrie, and we'll be heading home within the next hour or so. So time to get to all the tasks. Leah's inside working hard. I'm gonna get to all the outside stuff, and then we're gonna hit the road. But a bunch to do before that. Come along.
Я сама бы лишь не цена. Я но молодый
Hey, thought I forgot you, didn't you? Hi guys.
Hi.
Well, that was a fun trip.
It was. Weather was crazy.
Weather was crazy. Trip wasn't quite long enough. They never are. But we had fun, right, buddy? So we're gonna head home. But while we do that, if you guys don't mind hitting the like, the subscribe, keep up with us. We got a few weeks at home, and then we're headed on to Owen Sound. That'll be a great spot too. So stick with us. Thanks for being here, Jerry,
Leah.
Ernie, and we're on the road.